Why the I got an EBT card? And this is at Breezy, bro, and made 90 whatever the million. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro?
Kevin McCall just went viral breaking down on a podcast claiming Chris Brown owes him money. He's suing him for $10 million. But what really went down between these two? And why is Chris Brown laughing at him instead of paying up? I've got the full story. Let's get into it. The breakdown. Yo, October 20th, 2025. The streets witnessed something wild, fam. A complete and total meltdown of a brother who once had bread stacked to the ceiling. What went down during Kevin McCall's appearance on the Back on Fig podcast wasn't just tough to watch. It was a raw, uncut look at how fast you can fall when the checks stop coming and your homies ghost you. During his appearance on the Back on Fig podcast, my man broke down in tears, exposing a financial situation so messed up that it's wild to think this is the same dude who was once touching millions. He let everybody know that he's on EBT, electronic benefits transfer, for food assistance. That's food stamps for them who don't know. And he's struggling with $2,000 monthly child support payments for his daughter with his ex, Ava Marcil. It's the same cat who was once getting paid stupid money for hit records.
He finna be in here and tell
I got an EBT card. And this is at Breezy, bro, and made 90 whatever the million. Can I get 25,000 for them four songs I owe you, bro? I just want to leave, bro.
The clip that blew up all over social media shows McCall completely losing it. He was heated about Brown's tour earnings, saying through tears, "Why the f***s I got an EBT card and this is at Breezy Bowl and made 90 whatever the F million." The pain in his voice wasn't just about the paper. It was about feeling left out in the cold, thrown away like trash while the homie he helped blow up is living like a king and touring the world.
I'm not even tripping, though. I got an EBT card, my like, what the f, bro? I can't even get nothing. Bro, man. I want to see you cry in here.
McCall straight up claimed Brown owes him $25,000 for writing 4 songs, putting it out there like, "Can I get $25,000 for them 4 songs that you owe me, bro?" Now check this out. Some blogs reported completely different numbers. Some joints, like Comic Basics and Sandra Rose, said the amount was $3 million, probably because they mixed up his complaints about unpaid royalties and what he called an invalid label deal with Brown's camp. But the actual video and most reliable sources keep saying $25,000 for those specific 4 tracks, which got people asking, if you once had millions on top of millions, why you out here publicly begging for 25 bands?
I think I'm a bro. That ain't fair.
Hey,
I'm on EBT, bro.
hey,
That's why.
hey. Look, bro.
Calm down, bro. I'm on EBT, smack. Look. Say my name, bro. That shit is better. I had to go up in that time my face was raw, like COVID, bro.
Don't like every had no motherfucking EBT card. On the set, I think I had an EBT card.
The footage caught his raw emotion in a way that hit different. At one point, homie pulled out his EBT card and threw it on the table, showing everybody just how low he felt.
I think it's a game, bro.
You about to pull out the EBT card?
No, this for when I poke. Don't walk up on me playing. Or you Team Breezy.
He's poking.
That's on the internet.
He talked about rocking a mask when he's using the card, not because of COVID, but because he don't want people recognizing him.
Like every had no motherfucking EBT card. On the set, I think I had an EBT card. Man, I might get an EBT card. I walk in the building and look at me crazy.
Picture this. You used to work with Chris Brown on chart-topping bangers, and now you ducking and hiding your face at the grocery store because you embarrassed to swipe that EBT. The shame hit him hard, and you could see it written all over his face, no cap.
Way too much.
Me and Heather went to the county building together.
Oh,
My
so
mama
he is on EBT.
Together. We went to the county building together, bro.
Oh, God.
We go, everybody find out of this.
I hide in there, bro.
I need you to think on the set.
The breakdown wasn't just about being broke. It was about the mental health demons that's been haunting McCall for years. During the podcast, he opened up about having suicidal thoughts while living in poverty, admitting he wanted to end it all during his darkest times.
I was high as I was going through it, bro. I wanted to kill myself.
That spoke life into you, bro. That was my first introduction to him.
This ain't just a story about 2 R&B cats beefing over money. This is about a man whose whole life done fell apart, piece by piece, and he's reaching for anything that might save him from drowning.
And like humbly, I had to let him know, like, bro, you one of the realest nigga ever met. Like we gangsters, so like when you in that world, like you know the world I come from and who I am, like the ego, having a big ego is a part of all of it.
But McCall's money problems go way deeper than just Chris Brown allegedly shorting him. Dude's facing $2,000 monthly child support payments that he claims he can't cover. Even more heartbreaking, he's admitted he hasn't seen his kids in over 10 years, blaming it on not having bread and legal issues that kept him away from his own flesh and blood. The hurt from being separated from his shorties while struggling to eat is all over his face every time he speaks on it.
Even if you still had your child in California, am I correct?
Yeah, I gotta prove all of that. They wasn't supposed to. I didn't have nothing on Marley. Marley, I gotta go and file a petition for paternity. It's only $300, but watch this.
In July 2023, a judge told McCall to cough up $1.5 million to an ex for an alleged freeway assault. This settlement, coming from domestic violence allegations, just piled more debt on top of what he already owed. His ex-fiancée, Ava Marcille, put him on blast publicly, talking about abuse that supposedly started when she was pregnant with their baby, and McCall's custody attempts got dismissed back in 2019. So not only is he dead broke, but he's also dealing with massive legal bills, restraining orders, and the consequences of his past catching up to him all at once. But here's where the plot thickens even more. To understand how somebody could go from being rich to literally needing government assistance to eat, we gotta look at what McCall himself confessed. In a 2019 interview, my man admitted to blowing an estimated $8 million fortune on wild spending, cars, jewelry, and living that lavish lifestyle. $8 million, gone, not stolen, not taken by some shady industry exec, but spent on luxury whips and iced out chains and a lifestyle that wasn't built to last. When you young and the paper is flowing like water, it's easy to think it'll never stop, but McCall learned the hard way that the money don't last forever if you don't invest it right. On top of his admitted spending habits, McCall got arrested in January 2019 for domestic violence against another woman, charged with felony injury to a spouse. He missed a court date, which led to formal charges in September 2019. Then in November 2019, during a court appearance in Fulton County for child support, McCall got arrested after getting into it with the police. The pattern of legal trouble, blowing money, and personal problems paints a picture of somebody who's been spiraling down for years, and this viral breakdown is just the latest chapter in a much longer story of his downfall. The contrast between where he at now and where he was at his peak couldn't be more different. From making thousands per track and living that millionaire lifestyle to depending on the government for food and crying on podcasts about being owed $25,000. It's a fall from grace that hits different, and the fact that this breakdown happened while Chris Brown is on a tour that's reportedly pulled in between $90 million to over $100 million only makes the contrast more painful for McCall to stomach and more dramatic for everybody watching. The internet's reaction to McCall's breakdown was fast, ruthless, and mad divided. Some folks felt real sympathy for a brother clearly going through it, dealing with mental health issues and being flat broke. They saw someone crying out for help, someone who got chewed up and spit out by the music game. But the other side wasn't trying to hear none of that, pointing out that this is a dude who admitted to blowing $8 million on luxury items, got multiple allegations of putting hands on women, made death threats against Chris Brown and his baby girl back in the day, and got a pattern of blaming everybody else for his problems. The streets don't show mercy, and McCall found himself getting judged from every angle, with his past weighing heavy against him in the court of public opinion. What makes this breakdown hit different is that it ain't just about one weak moment caught on camera. It's years of bad decisions, legal drama, burned bridges, and karma coming back around to collect what's owed. Stacks, hits, and millions. To really understand how Kevin McCall ended up breaking down on a podcast clutching an EBT card, we gotta go back to when things were all good, when Kevin McCall and Chris Brown weren't enemies, but partners creating some of the hardest R&B hits of the early 2000s. This was a partnership that looked unbreakable, a collaboration that would help Chris Brown bounce back and make Kevin McCall a wealthy man in the process. Kevin McCall, born in 1985 in Watts, California, was an R&B singer, songwriter, and producer who came up through his work with Chris Brown. This wasn't just any regular collab. This was two talented brothers coming together to create chart-topping music and stack serious paper. Their partnership kicked off around 2009 to 2010, right when Chris Brown was trying to recover from one of the roughest periods of his career following his 2009 legal drama with Rihanna. McCall's timing was perfect, and Brown needed fresh heat to help rebuild his image and reconnect with his fan base.
All right, music.
despite your flaws as a human being, you are one of the most talented individuals to ever grace the music industry.
We gonna get to that.
So
we gonna get to that.
Beer.
McCall signed to Brown's label imprint, CBE, Chris Brown Entertainment, a deal that promised royalties, exposure, and what looked like a golden ticket to long-term success in the music industry. What followed was a run of collaborations that would forever change both of their lives, though probably not in the ways either of them expected at the time. The crown jewel of their work together came in 2010 with the banger Deuces. This wasn't just another track on the radio. This joint peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart for 9 weeks straight and got Grammy nominations. But here's where it gets interesting. McCall revealed in a 2021 interview with DJ Vlad that Deuces was originally his song, which he blessed Brown with under the condition that they'd collaborate on it. The song, which also featured Tyga, became one of Chris Brown's signature joints and a defining moment in both of their careers.
How do you feel about the whole gang affiliation thing?
I think the gang stuff is incredibly unfortunate. That's what I would say. It's unfortunate. Being somebody who really is, from that life and know what that's about, I would never promote that. You know what I'm saying? And when you are the Michael Jackson of this time, you can't bring yourself down to a level, to people at that level, unless it's there to bring them up.
But Deuces was just the beginning of their successful run together. The collaboration continued with Strip 2011 from Brown's album Fortune, where McCall provided writing and vocal contributions. There was also No BS 2010, another mixtape track that showcased their creative chemistry, plus other joints like Christmas Came Today and various contributions to Brown's FAME album. Every track they worked on together seemed to hit, and the money was flowing in steady. And we talking about serious bread here, fam. During this golden period, McCall was getting paid up to several $10,000 checks per project, which added up to an estimated $8 million fortune at his peak. $8 million. Let that marinate for a second. This wasn't just moderate success. Kevin McCall was living that dream that most artists spend their whole lives chasing. The checks were coming in regular, the hits were banging on the radio, and everything seemed to be going exactly how it should. But here's where the story takes a turn that would hint at the financial destruction to come. McCall later admitted in a 2019 interview to blowing most of this wealth on lavish spending, luxury whips, iced out jewelry, and that high roller lifestyle. When you're young, successful, and the paper is coming in fast, it's easy to think it'll last forever. Expensive cars, designer everything, living that lifestyle that comes with being connected to one of the biggest stars in R&B. McCall was living large, not realizing that the foundation of his success was already starting to crumble beneath his feet. These collaborations didn't just boost McCall's profile and bank account, they also played a crucial role in helping Brown bounce back from his legal troubles. The fresh material connected with fans and helped Brown rebuild his image during a critical time in his career. For a minute there, it looked like a win-win situation. McCall was getting the exposure and the bread that comes with working alongside a superstar, while Brown was getting quality material from a talented producer and songwriter who understood his artistic vision.
It's just unfortunate you live in this lifestyle to put in this position to bring a lot of people up, and you don't want to accept your responsibility as that role model. I know it's tough shoes to fill. Like, my biggest fear is I said, God, whatever you do, don't make me have to be a preacher.
During this era, everything seemed possible. No lie. The hits were charting, the money was flowing, and both artists appeared to be on an upward trajectory. Kevin McCall wasn't just another songwriter in the background. He was a featured artist, a credited producer, and somebody who was building what looked like a sustainable career in the music industry. He had signed a deal with Brown's label that was supposed to secure his future with ongoing royalties and opportunities. The world was his, and he was eating good. But as we now know from his 2025 breakdown, this golden era was way shorter than anybody expected. Beneath the surface of chart success and Grammy nominations, tension was already brewing. Disagreements over credits, questions about payments, and changes in Brown's inner circle were all setting the stage for what would become one of the messiest breakups in R&B history. The foundation that seemed so solid was actually built on quicksand, and it was only a matter of time before everything came crashing down. Clapbacks, reactions, and street justice. The aftermath of Kevin McCall's emotional breakdown was quick, brutal, and showed just how messy this whole situation really is. Within days of that viral podcast clip, the internet went crazy with reactions. Chris Brown responded with some cold-blooded shade, and even other celebrities jumped into the mix. What unfolded was a masterclass in how public beefs play out in the social media era, and how fast sympathy can turn to criticism when folks start digging into the whole story. Chris Brown's response came on October 22, 2025, via Instagram stories, just 2 days after McCall's breakdown went viral. Brown didn't even say McCall's name directly, but everybody knew who he was talking about. Remember this, you can't walk across a burnt bridge. And you know what's funnier than a troll? Broke one. The shade was unmistakable, and outlets like TMZ said Brown gave McCall a sinister clapback. The burnt bridge reference hit different. It was talking about their destroyed relationship and the fact that McCall had, according to Brown, done things in the past that made it impossible for them to ever be cool again.
Well, let's switch gears to R&B. Chris Brown. It looks like he is responding to Kevin McCall now. If you recall this, Kevin McCall recently did an interview and broke down, upset because he's struggling financially. Here's what happened. All right, well, you know, this didn't go how we thought. Now, Young Thug gave him a lot of grace and said, Kevin McCall hit me, I'll give you the $25K you need, and I know CB would give it to you also. He a real one.
Yeah.
And we're just busy sometimes, brother.
Or it's been a decade of you going to social media instead of coming to me, talking smack, and then now you want me to do something for you.
But Brown didn't stop at the Instagram shade. The whole narrative that came out painted a picture of somebody who felt McCall had burned bridges through his own actions, especially bringing up that 2016 incident when McCall posted threatening messages online, including talking about harming Brown and his daughter, which made Brown respond with a 1,000+ word Instagram rant where he threatened, "You won't be able to walk, let alone sing again." Brown called McCall a bitch and said he was taking too much credit for their work. That 2016 beef marked a complete breakdown in their relationship, and Brown's recent response made it clear that those wounds never healed and probably never will.
Well, I think that's Chris Brown's perspective.
Chris Brown said, remember this, you can't walk across a burnt bridge, and you know what's funnier than a troll? A broke one.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to social media and says, oh, I made this song, I did this. So then how come for the last, 2020? Like, how come for the last 14 years, Chris Brown's still been good since the song that you were airing your first grievances about, which was Strip, in 2011?
Before Brown's response, there was actually a glimmer of hope for McCall. Rapper Young Thug, who's worked with Brown before, offered to pay McCall the $25,000, posting a message that said, reach out to me for the $25,000 he's allegedly owed, and adding that Brown is a real one, and that is busy sometimes, brother. This move was seen as both compassionate and a show of industry solidarity, though it ain't clear if McCall ever hit Thug up to collect that bread. The fact that somebody else had to step in to offer the money only highlighted the deep divide between McCall and Brown. The public reaction on social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, was mad divided and revealed a lot about how people view accountability, mental health, and the music industry. On one side, there were people expressing real concern for McCall's vulnerability and mental health. They pointed out the music industry's shadiness and the harsh reality that songwriters and producers often feel exploited and underpaid, especially when the artist they helped blow up becomes a megastar while they struggle. These supporters saw a man in genuine distress who deserved empathy and possibly the money he claimed he was owed. But the other side of the discussion was way less forgiving. Many pointed out that McCall has a documented history of domestic violence allegations, including incidents with Ava Marcille that allegedly started when she was pregnant. Critics noted that McCall made threats against Chris Brown and his daughter Royalty back in 2016, including disturbing references to violence, which many saw as crossing a line that could never be uncrossed. The narrative of karma dominated a lot of conversations, with people suggesting that McCall's current situation was payback for his own poor choices, blowing $8 million on luxury items, making threats, allegedly putting hands on women, and alienating the very people who could have helped him. Social media posts reflected this division heavy. Some users emphasized that we can't just look at Kevin McCall as the ultimate victim here. Dude has made stupid money in the past. More to the story, while others questioned his credibility and noted that he's never taken legal action despite claiming he's owed money. The phrase, "you reap what you sow," kept popping up in discussions about McCall, suggesting that many people saw his current struggles as consequences of his own actions, rather than just the result of industry exploitation. The broader implications of this whole situation go beyond just McCall and Brown. This beef highlights common music industry problems, like royalty disputes and unequal profit sharing between artists and the songwriters/producers who help create their hits. McCall's story lines up with narratives from other songwriters who feel undercompensated after creating hits, and his admissions of past spending highlight the financial literacy gaps that many young artists face when they suddenly come into wealth. Perhaps most importantly, McCall's mental health revelations, including suicidal thoughts while living in poverty, have drawn attention to the need for better support systems for artists in the industry. The entertainment industry has always had problems with mental health support, and McCall's very public breakdown highlighted just how devastating it can be when somebody falls from the heights of success with no safety net to catch them. As of right now, extensive searches for legal records, including court databases and news archives, reveal no lawsuit from McCall against Brown for $10 million or any amount. Despite all the public claims and emotional pleas, McCall has never taken legal action to get what he says he's owed. This fact has been used by critics to suggest that maybe his claims don't have legal legs to stand on, or that the statute of limitations has run out, or simply that pursuing legal action would require resources he don't have. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.